Hello, great to see you again. Today is a very exciting day. I'm going to be starting to apply the shingles here to the cabin. Really excited about this. Never worked with shingles before, and there's just such a beautiful aroma from the shingles. So I'm really looking forward to all day working with those and showing you how I've gone about the various detailing and tasks that I've had to do. So here we have the collection of tools that I'm going to be using today. Just take you through them all very quickly. So we have here a staple gun. So we use this to staple down the breather membrane onto the racking boards. We're going to have an impact driver. This will be good for putting in temporary guides as we're moving through the roof. We have a grinder just to cut off any nail heads that might surface along we go. We also have a skill saw here. Again, may not use this too much today, but we might use this for trimming edges when the roof is in process. We have also a jigsaw, so this will be handy for cutting down the shingles rather than using an axe. And finally, we have a generator here. There's a little hand generator which is easy to move around, and we have a pin gun, so this is for staple pins. And we have two different types of staples here, and I'll tell you why. We have a 20mm staple here, and we have a 30mm staple. These are hot rolled galvanized staples. I really wanted to get stainless staples, but they're really hard to get in Ireland, and had to look for places in Canada and the US, but just wasn't able to get them. So I've decided to take a bit of a risk. Ideally, as we're in a coastal area, I would have used a 316 stainless steel grade pin. We can also use round shank nails, 30mm round shank nails, and they can be used as well to finish off by hand or in a nail gun. But again, found it very hard to get them, so had to go with this. So I'll take my chances and keep you posted on how I get on. Here is a sample I've done here today. So this is the cladding board here, and I've just nailed the bottom course here of cedar shingles. So I've nailed it with 30mm and 20mm pin just to see what secure they would be. And because of the detail I've gone with, you can see the 30mm pins are coming through the board, and they'll become visible on the other side. Now we could just nick these with the grinder or just clippers to clip them back, or we can just use the lighter 20mm pin. You could also add a little bit of silicone to the edge just to secure them as you go along. I found that the 20mm pins are pretty secure, so again, I'm going to take my chances with them. You can just see here the bottom detail where my little finger is here. We have the bottom shingle just extending 10mm on below the shingles. This is to create a natural drip feature on the bottom course. So I'll take you through the installation so that you can see everything that I'm doing. Have the shingle installation in detail just before adding the shingles on, and we have the base detail here. You can see I've used the cladding board and just returned it, and I've done this so that we can overlay the second shingle over into the drip feature. So it's just a handy way of doing it, and it gives me a good guide all the way through. You can see here also I've kept the shingles away from the cladding, 25mm, and I've considered covering this surface with a plastic edge here like this, just to protect the end grain before the shingle will go on. But I've changed my mind and decided to take my chances with just the end grain. It's a fairly fine cut I have on the end grain, so I think if I protect that with some wood treatment preservative, we should be good. Kind of want to keep this container cabin as light as possible, and really just keep it as woody as possible as well, so mainly with wood being used only. So as you can see here, I've just got the bottom course laid, so 2 layers of shingles on the bottom course. What have I learned? Well, I've learned the shingles are not consistently even, so you've got to, both when you're creating your overlaps, you have to really consider what shingle you use next. And also the bottoms can sometimes not be 100% square, so you've got to play around with it and make sure that you keep your vertical line pretty straight as you're going. You can see here I've just put on the second course. Shingles are pinned about 6 inches up from the bottom, which is about 150 mil, and each course is just below the shingle at about 125 mil. So it's about a 25 mil cover on the pin, and that just ensures that the shingle can dry out and doesn't warp and twist. We've left around a 6 mil gap, 5 to 6 mil gap between the shingles, and that lets them swell when they get wet. There are different systems you can use. Here we have just put the shingles directly onto a breather membrane. There are some fantastic ventilation systems for the shingles in Canada and America. I've found it very hard to even try find or source them here in Ireland, but I would have used that if I could have, to increase the ventilation behind the shingle. There is a sort of a risk that the shingle will get soaked wet all the way through, and it'll dry on the outside but not on the inside, and particularly where we are here in the sunny southeast of Ireland, where we get very quick extremes of rain and sun quite often. So we'll see how these wear up over the years, and I'll keep you posted. We can see here we have the 2 layers of shingles and the racking board detail on the inside. Now these shingles have oversailed past further than I want. I'm going to have to cut those off with a skill saw when I have it all finished. We're going to soon remove the base rail here, but you can just see how the outer shingle just extends a little bit further down, about 10 mil, just to create a natural drip for the water to fall off. So I'm making progress here. I've just set up a guide running from front to back, and I can slide in my shingles into that guide just to make it nice and quick for me to staple them on to the panels. I'm looking forward to showing you all of the challenges that I'm going to have using these products, many for the very first time. So stay tuned, and looking forward to seeing you all again at the next video.